nude and get it out of the way and do it, the whole project could have taken twice as long. Do you run into that, Renee?
Yeah.
Yes. And you always try, of course, your best to make your clients comfortable. But over the years, I really do try to sit down and speak with them beforehand about just like how naked they will be or need to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of reassure them too that the way that I start backs with that giant gray line, and getting it all the fundamentals and all the the entire project down first is that they only have
I
to be
always
naked,
call that
like,
my commitment session, where we're just
yes,
committing the idea. This is just the
committing
commitment.
the idea.
Yeah.
Right. This is the foundations, and then we're going to build walls, and we're going to build, we're going to decorate at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
And I make sure that they know that they're going to be naked for that session. And then they might be naked for when we do their butts. But besides that, they'll be either draped or they can wear clothes,
Mm-hmm.
they can. So it's really, if they have that modesty aspect of it, I try my best to even drape them correctly when they don't need, it's very important for your clients to not just be out and naked the entire time. Like once we got done with her whole left side, I was like, okay, I left literally like saran wrap over her. We could put her robe over her on that way too, because your client's also getting cold
Mm-hmm.
further along in that the tattoo's going on. So really, I try for them to not be as naked as necessary, but most of my clients are very naked.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to really, I make sure that they have privacy options, like they know all the options. So it's not just like, here, be naked, stand in that corner,
Right.
It's more of like, hey, and I at conventions too, like, man, oh man, oh man. I'm glad that I am kind of like a bulldog when it comes to just being wary of creepers, because there's been multiple times, where you see that person with the camera and the long zoom lens, and they don't have a badge that says they're from a magazine or anything, and they are zoomed in to your client's bits.
Unless it's me. If it's me walking around zooming in,
yeah.
I'm really not zooming in on the bits. It might seem that way. And if I do by accident, that's not what I'll share. I promise.
Yeah, no. You are the badge. You're fine.
I can creep in. I have the permission.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have the permission. You've got the creep pass.
Yes.
But I mean, I'm very territorial with my clients, and I feel like that's part of my responsibility as their artist at that moment to actually get the job done. Yes, make sure that they're healthy and safe, but also make sure that their modesty and their pride is kept intact. Because that's part of the experience. So, I mean, I have slapped a camera out of a dude's hands before, but it was justified.
It was definitely a different experience. When I had already been worked on at Tattoo the Lou by Russ, and on that session we were doing like mid back all the way down. So we were like both cheekies, and it was like late in the process of the tattoo. So it was just like a day of just saturating.
Mm-hmm.
And Russ he was set up in a way that anybody that walked by could see him and see what he was working on. But it was very like, I was tucked in the corner. So it was kind of creeper proof. Like you could see me, you could see what he was working on, but you could see the screen next to him with the camera of what he wanted you to look at. So,
right.
But when I was at Hell City and I was like in the middle of two booths, and Adam was on one side of me and Ty was on the other, and they're both working on my chest, there was no hiding it. It was like so much equipment, so many people, and all I could do was sit there with my eyes shut. And like the majority of the people, their comments were polite, but like there definitely were people that were standing there that were just dogs that like, and they were making comments like, oh, must be into the pain, and like all the trains of conversation that leads after that. It's like, nah, man, I'm laying here like a piece of meat in pain, like a corpse. Like, this is not fun. So conventions are funny because you never know who's going to walk up or what they're going to say. So in that instance, I had already been like, my chest had been photographed. I'd been in competitions and stuff, and I'd been pretty naked at conventions. So like I'd already heard it, but But there is this, like, you do want to be protective of your client. You don't want them to feel violated by onlookers, but at the same time, you want people that are like passionate about the art to get to see the art. So it's
Right.
a
Like,
funny,
where's the
like,
fine line?
as an artist, you almost have to be like super tuned in to like creepers and the comfort of
Mhm.
your client. Like for me, again, it's a matter of, I know the process. I am a tattooer. I know the art. So for me, it's, I just swallow the modesty just for the sake of the project.
Mhm.
But there might be some people that aren't able to do that. And I think those people do need a little bit of extra like protection. Like you said, like a
Mhm.
bulldog, like, you know, you're their artist. They're trusting you. They're very vulnerable. And you're the only person sometimes that can defend them, you know?
Mhm.
That's another one of those special like tattoo artist client bonds that kind of
Yeah.
happens, is that whole trust factor.